I've been sucked into Skyward Sword.
It's got you.
It's actually a pretty damn good Zelda
Yeah, it's a good game. All right, I hit go live, but the chat's bugging out, so we'll see what happens. And I'll be able to test my damn notifications.
I haven't seen anything yet.
That music's amazing.
The music in this is really, really good, and it's a little bit different than some of the other music.
Here it is. I just got this one
in the series.
I just got this one fine.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it. That music's amazing.
The music in this is really.
Yeah, I hear both of us. We're good. We are live. I had to change the format a little bit so it would refresh. There we go. All I had to do was refresh the chat panel. I need to remember that.
I need 150.
Blue feathers?
No.
I was about to say, dude, you were hunting one.
Rupees.
I don't know about that shit.
Rupees. I have 130 rupees. I need 150.
Okay, you were probably much further than I got to. I'm trying to remember what weapon I had just gotten and started that dungeon. Is there something? Is there something that slows down time?
No, but I did. There's this one area where there's like it's time shifting kind of deals, where it's like these crystals change.
Yes, that's the dungeon. That's the dungeon I'm in.
Area.
I just walked in that dungeon.
Okay, but these areas you visit a couple times. So
right, you go back through.
Yeah. Not the same dungeons necessarily, but
the same as areas. Like that was a desert area, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I had to get something in that area to.
What's the last like sub weapon that you remember
That's
getting?
What I couldn't remember. I need to look at I need to fire up my save and see what it is. I think I'm still carrying it around in my bag too. I think it's in my little collection of 8 that I have.
God damn, I'm knocking over everything.
Yeah, we're live, by the way.
It's okay.
He's on his break.
So.
All right, what are the?
I think I remember you talking about the gust blower.
I know I did that with just recently for Minish Cap. Maybe. What do you do with it? What does it look like?
It looks like a big old jar. Like
yeah,
this,
that's the damn thing from Minish Cap. God, I was looking through our Instagram and I saw your the Christmas nights on that TV again, and I was like, damn, that geometry looks good. That was, man, please keep that Toshiba, and you know where to take it if you want to get rid of it. That thing is beautiful. Renee's in Kansas. Renee, do they have hard Mountain Dews? There's a new orange hard Mountain Dew.
Of course. Ooh, 2 more.
I bought an NVMe enclosure and I can't find that drive I bought. I was going to upgrade the drive on this computer. I don't know where it's at. I got to find it. So I can actually use this thing for a little bit more. Hey, ha ha. I'm ready when you are, senor, though, when you find a stopping point.
As I remind my child every time he's playing and he says, wait a minute, it's the Switch. Every moment's a stopping point. This thing has a...
It is. You just put it to sleep.
Yeah, you hit home and sleep.
I'm being courteous. We're not paid for this.
Got a shield, baby.
You're not late for anything or holding back anything, you know? If we had shareholders breathing down our necks and a rabid audience of someone other than Renee. Renee is rabid.
There we go. I got the goddess shield.
As I tell my son.
Yeah.
The Switch, everything has a stopping place.
Yeah.
I used to lie. I used to lie to
I
my parents.
const
Like, I'm trying to get to a safe place.
See, I remember, and so do you, the days where you're playing on your Game Boy or you're playing on your console, and if you're legitimately not at a stopping
Yep.
point, you've got to just turn the TV off and be like, don't touch the
Yep.
console, please don't touch it. I know it's on. Please don't
I was
touch it.
talking about that last week with Metroid Prime, where you can just put it in sleep and walk away. Back in the day, you had to like battle to a save point. Might not make it.
And he literally is like, but I'm in a cutscene. I'm like, it's the Switch,
Home,
home
sleep.
and sleep.
Or home and tap the power on the top and just turn the screen off.
Yeah. I can't pause it. You don't have to pause it. Home and sleep. That's all you gotta do.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll be in Florida before too long.
Right, bring up the stream. All right, I already got up all the news.
Great job building the news.
Thank you, sir.
Does that look okay with the two windows and the logo? I can't remember what we've done before.
Where did it? I thought it minimized. Why did it? Okay, there.
Because I was trying to move our logo like in the middle of both of us, but I don't think it looked that great.
Nah, that's fine.
Look at this one and see what you think.
All right, I'm watching. I'm looking. I'm looking and watching.
That looks shittier though, and now my head's like behind it.
The thing to do would be to just put us like side by side or top and bottom and put the logo in the corner or something. That way there's not that blank space.
I try to hide. I know the blank space is the worst part, right? I try to hide the it just doesn't look right to me. Yeah, side by side's not so bad. Neither one of us is really like centered on our camera though, so that's part of it too.
Yeah.
I think if we like totally drilled in the camera and had it set up right, it might work that way.
Yeah.
See, this sucks. I'm not wild about this. And we're like massive on the screen.
You should be able to kind of scale us down a little bit. I can always move everything over a tad.
Because like the best angle for us has your Skype window up. I can move that a little bit. Renee says shrink the window. Thank you, Renee. I'm shifting windows all around. Shifting all around. It's probably not a live on-stream adjustment, though, either.
It'll be alright.
Move Brant. Move me. I don't need as much real estate. You're much more important. This might work. I'll make us close to being equal sized. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How's that? And if I lean back in my normal position, I don't know where it got to on the stream. It'll be close. It'll be close to that. It's fine.
Yeah, that looks fine.
All right, Renee, what do you think? Renee's watching in real time also. There's always loads going to Florida. Yeah, that's okay.
This is all.
Oh, the freaking logo's half hidden.
You just got to pull it up a bit.
Yep, that's it. This is all what?
All this news is. I think we could get through this pretty easily. It's not a lot of in-depth stuff.
I haven't played a shit ton. I'm okay with it being a short show. I think the last one was like almost 2 hours, so we're due for a briefing / blast. I wish I could find that drive. I think I'm gonna hunt for it when we get off. I do want to go to bed though. Are you ready? Oh, Renee
Yeah.
gives us a thumbs up. We can get started now. Renee approves. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 248 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, a small smattering of news. Mario movie is closer than you think. Is it now? Luminous Productions is being absorbed? Question mark. What does that mean? Elden Ring expansion announced. I haven't even started the regular one, so that's great. Pokemon Presents announcements. Some cool stuff there, hopefully. And this is just a blanket statement. Coming to NSO Plus this week! Exclamation point. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
I'm your newsmaster. I am present.
Brant, thank you for taking time out of Skyward Sword, which I'm sure we're going to hear about later on, to not only build us the news, but join tonight. Our third compatriot is under the weather, so we wish him healing paths. I don't know where I was going with that. We wish him well wishes for feeling better.
A swift
recovery. There we go. Well wishes for healing. Play him the Song of Healing in Skyward Sword. Is that in Skyward Sword?
Send him a fairy in a bottle.
Yes. Multiples. So he can store them up. Currently, he's the Wind Waker kid with the snot hanging out his nose, like running around the town trying to follow you. You know that Wind Waker kid. He's in, is he in Minish Cap? He's in something else I saw recently. It might have been one of the Phantom Hourglass or one of the other ones. They redid that snot character.
Probably.
Yeah. Snot characters. I'll take snot characters for 400. Oh, you'll rue the day you crossed me. Let's get into this news. Are we still planning? Well, we can't go this week. Are we still planning to go watch a Mario Brothers movie, all of us together?
I kind of want to see it with my family, and they're kind of, at least my son's getting pretty excited about
that's
it.
Fair.
So
that's fair.
It comes out in the middle of a week now, though.
What day is that, Brant? And it's not April Fool's Day. Spoilers.
It's April 5th.
April 5th.
They moved it from April 7th, at least here in the United States.
Okay, 2 days. I thought it was like a week or so when I first...
No, they moved it up only 2 days.
Yep, this is summarized from Tom Ivan at videogameschronicle.com. In 60 markets, which is probably just about everywhere, right? What is the whole point of doing that? The film will hit cinemas in additional markets in April and May, including Japan on April 28th. Yeah. Why is that such a... Is that localization? Or dubs, I guess? It's kind of weird. A Nintendo Direct presentation themed around the Super Mario Brothers movie will take place on March 9th. So that's coming up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, toward the end of the week.
What is a Super Mario Brothers Direct? That's just a trailer, right?
I know.
It's just a trailer.
They keep saying that they keep throwing Direct on there. I think I don't think they need to have Directs based on Super Mario World and the Super Mario movie.
Oh, this is that weird stuff where they interview the actors. They're like, now we're going to go to Jack Black and hear his take on Bowser. And they read some, I remember when I first played Super Mario Brothers. I've always dreamed of playing. Yeah, that's what it is. Renee said he's going to give Cesar a green herb. That will work. Or is that the one for mana? Is that just restore his mana in Resident Evil? Give him a yellow and a red one. Alright, so there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on...
But they also...
Thursday?
I don't know. 6, 7, 8, they did say they are going to do the Direct for the movie. But I would assume they'd also... Do you think they're going to do it the day before, or do you think they'll actually wait till March 10th on Mario Day to release any more information about what they're doing for that?
I'm sure it's all the 9th. Like, all the stuff's out about the game sales and the console, right? You've seen that?
Yeah.
So March 10th is Mario Day, if you look at it. So they've got a $299 SKU for the extended battery Switch.
Yeah, it's the better battery Switch. It's not the OLED. It's the deep red Joy-Cons.
And stickers from the movie.
Movie stickers, and you get a free Mario game.
You get a voucher for
Mario. I would say Mario game loosely because like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was on that list too.
The original Mario villain before Jack Black. Yeah, you get Mario 3D or Mario Deluxe, Mario U Deluxe.
Yeah, you get to choose from those. It was like
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart, Odyssey,
Donkey Kong. Is one of the Mario
Donkey Kong
parties on
Tropical
there?
Freeze. Yeah, Mario
Yeah,
Party Superstars is
it's a
on
good
there.
one.
So there's some good choices for
Yeah,
sure.
it's not a bad SKU for those who don't have a
Oh,
Switch yet, or the collectors that will try to grab the Mario one with the stickers.
yeah, but honestly, I think if you're gonna get a Switch, just shell out a little extra money and get the OLED
I would wholeheartedly agree.
for the value.
Wholeheartedly agree. That's it. It's the March 9th Nintendo news for Mario Brothers. That's not March 10th Mario news. So awkward.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we'll go over Mario Day next
Yeah, if
week.
there's something else that comes out. Another one from VideoGamesChronicle.com. Forspoken developer Luminous Productions is set to be merged into Square Enix. The studio is currently working on Forspoken DLC. I think by the next time Cesar's on the show, he'll have finished this one. It sounded like he was close last week.
Yeah, I know I saw him playing it a couple times on PS5, so I'm sure by now he's probably done with it.
This comes from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Luminous Productions, the development studio behind Forspoken, is going to be fully merged into Square Enix. I thought they were. Their only other title has been Final Fantasy 15, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's its own limited. Square Enix Holdings Company announces that it will merge its wholly owned subsidiary, Luminous Productions Company Limited, into its wholly owned subsidiary, Square Enix Company Limited. Effective Monday, May 1st, 2023, the statement reads.
This is no big surprise because, I mean, they just sold their more Western games and things like that off. They've been looking to kind of consolidate costs and everything. So, but I guess they saw the value in Luminous because, I mean, they did make that whole Luminous engine, even though at this point, it looks like they, sunk a lot of money into it, but I think everybody's kind of leaning more towards Unreal just because of the ease of use.
That. Yeah, these proprietary engines are just kind of going away.
Yeah. The ease of use and just how optimized it is for these systems, because just seeing the few demos and things that have come out like that, what was it, the Matrix demo that was all in Unreal 5. That was amazing. And I mean, that
was a hell of an experience. Yep. Noted.
But it seems like more and more people are moving to Unreal. So
yeah. Potentially Halo. Halo is another one of those examples. You get the proprietary slip space engine that they brought in all these people to learn in 18 months on their contract and then cut them after that and lost all that knowledge for each employee. It's just nonsense. It's not outlandish to say Halo would not be in the condition it is now if they had gone with a non-proprietary engine, I would say. Yeah. And we've almost moved away from it. I haven't gone back to it in a minute, so we'll see what the new season is Tuesday. So there will be a big update. Yeah, we'll probably dive back in on the 7th and just at least see what's going on.
If there's a new map or something.
It's supposed to be 2 new maps.
Okay.
So that'll be at least worth checking out for us. I like this quote. Combining the two entities will further enhance the group's ability to develop HD games.
HD game. I know. When have they referred to HD games since like the Wii and 360
HD
days?
games. Maybe we'll get some more Summer of HD games announced in June.
4K? What are you talking about? We're still on HD.
There's nothing wrong with HD games. There's people appreciating 480i games still. When we established Luminous Productions in 2018, our vision was to make AAA games that fuse technology and artistry to deliver completely new play experiences. Having the chance to do just that has been a dream come true. We appreciate you taking this journey with us and look forward to continuing to create new entertainment experiences as part of the Square Enix family. Sure. It's kind of a non-news thing, right?
Yeah.
set to be fully merged. So I guess they're just cementing, hey, we need these people, we need this technology.
Yeah.
Oh, Brant, tell me about your game of the year last year, Elden Ring's first expansion.
This game was given Game of the Year.
By
I
you.
still have yet to touch it.
Do you own it?
I know.
Okay,
no,
you're not as bad as me then, who's owned it for a year and has never... I installed it. I did pop it into install it. Yeah.
Oh,
I got far. I got pretty far into it installing it. Watching the bar go up.
I know Cesar really enjoyed this game as well as countless others. This is also a really short story as far as news goes. They put this out via Twitter, Elden Ring's official Twitter. Rise, tarnish, and let us walk a new path together. An upcoming expansion for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands beyond, lands between. And there's a beautiful piece of concept art, I guess, or just art itself.
I imagine it's a bunch of people's wallpaper at this point, or their lock screen,
showing like a vast kind of misty land leading to this humongous tree out off in the distance.
I'm guessing that's originally it was in the game to start with. I have no Elden Ring knowledge.
I'm not sure. I mean, this article also talks about how they had they added the Colosseums. They received an update in December, which opened all those Colosseums that were kind of dotted around the map. But yeah, there's not a lot of details yet. They're just saying that it's in development. So I would assume probably closer to the end of the year, maybe, November release or something like that. At least we'll hear about it again. But I know
think there's Erd berries on the Erd tree? Does the fact that there's an Erd tree lend some thought to maybe there's some Erd berries laying around?
Possibly. I do not know. I do not know all the lore.
Would you eat an Erd berry?
The Lord Master is not
people
with
are probably laughing at us like, these stupid fucking idiots. Play Elden Ring. Play Elden Ring so you're not talking shit about Erd berries.
Next, I guess I'll go into the Pokemon Presents, which if you were expecting very specific Game Boy announcements, like the majority of the internet was Pokemon Presents disappointment in this presentation.
Pokemon Presents regret for having watched this if you were expecting Game Boy announcements.
So I'm going to go with the order in which stuff was presented, not the article, because I watched this in anticipation and was a little let down.
I did watch this too and was mostly confused because Pokemon is just not what I knew Pokemon as. Like, all this stuff is foreignish to me.
It's invading every part of our lives at this point now.
When we're awake, when we're on the toilet, when we're sleeping,
brushing your teeth,
the land between. Even in the shadow of the Erd tree, there's Pokemon.
So the first thing they talked about was the 2023 Pokemon World Championships coming back. This is going to be held August 11 through the 13th.
Is that the card
in Yokohama,
is that the card game,
Japan?
Or is that the actual digital?
That's actually everything.
Oh, that's everything.
So they do. This is like the trading card game. This is the video game.
Scarlet and Violet
tournament.
Yeah, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite.
Scarlet, Violet, Unite, all that.
Has your family qualified for their place in the Pokemon Unite tournament? Or are you guys still working on placing?
No, I have not touched it, even with the new update that was announced in this. The next thing they showed off, which, again, we're going to have to wait. I guess they're going to talk about it more during the tournament. Is this Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. This was not the classic announcement people were looking for. But it is a premium product, which is like this trading card. It almost looks like this hard briefcase. It folds out into this play mat kind of deal. And they showed off a lot of the classic cards when the game was made by Wizards of the Coast. As all of us in the '90s growing up remember these trading
I was about to say they
cards.
don't anymore. Because
No,
I that Charizard card in this article, I have that holographic Charizard card. I got it in a pack at Media Play. I opened that.
oh damn.
It's not one of the super expensive ones though. Like you see the shadow on the border on the right side. That's what mine looks like. The super expensive ones have no shadow. They're the shadowless. I did a deep dive when one of those sold for a ridiculous amount of money. I was like, me too.
Oh, they go for
It wasn't mine. That's cool though. So it's gonna is. Do you get the full set when you buy that nice like fold out?
I am not sure. That is another thing. It was just a sneak peek. It's like a little there's a little video of two people sitting there playing, and they showed them playing the classic cards. Of course, they had to show Charizard, Ivysaur, Blastoise, and then just said it's Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. A way to I'm trying to remember exactly what it said. It was like a way to carry these games, this classic game, into the future.
It says it's meant to last a lifetime. That makes me think it's a set. Like you buy the set and it comes with all the stuff.
That's what it makes me think. But they have not elaborated. I'm assuming this is going to be, because they're probably banking on nostalgia. It's probably going to be stupid expensive.
Oh, for sure. Are Pokemon collectors as extreme as other parts of game collect? Okay, I figured it was bad because I've seen
anything.
I've seen the games are super expensive. They never lose their value. Like a new release one for 40 or 60, whatever the MSRP is, they never get below that.
Well, it was just before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic, the games went up. But also, we have everybody's favorite YouTuber, Jake Paul, I guess. Yeah,
the boxer.
I know, right? Started. He was like showing off Pokemon cards and opening Pokemon cards, because I mean, a lot of people that were already into the game did that, but Pokemon cards just went crazy wild again because his fan base got into it. Up to the point where like people were like the vendor would go in to set up the trading cards and he'd have to make them form a line.
I remember these stories.
And it was like only one product per person. Yep. They did a promotion where there were like Pokemon cards and cereal, and they were having to like take the cereal off the shelves and have people ask for it because people were just taking the cereal and open it up and getting the cards out of it, and it was people are crazy.
It's
man.
behind behind a lockbox like the old Toys R Us game bin.
Yeah.
You pull a paper slip off the shelf for Cheerios and you take it up to the game bin and you get your cereal out of the lockbox.
Pokemon trick cereal, please. Whatever
Pokemon
it is.
Tricks.
Next up, they showed a new show coming to Netflix, Pokemon Concierge. It's like a stop motion animated
That looked good.
series.
That looked good. But I'm a sucker for stop motion. I feel like that animation style is timeless. There's a Psyduck.
I feel like next they went into basically all of the mobile game stuff. So you had like Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is that like mixing Pokemon game. They're adding the starters from Scarlet and Violet to it. Pokemon Unite is getting the legendary from Pokemon Sword, Zacian, with a new limited time event where you can actually earn him. They have new boss rush battles, things like that, and there's a special gift code, Pokemon Unite in game. I don't remember what that gets.
That Zacian thing is so crazy looking with the sword in its mouth.
The giant wolf with a big sword
in his mouth constantly. Does he attack with the sword? Like, does he sling it at you? Okay.
Oh yeah, he swings it at you. And then Pokemon EX Masters. That's the one where you have like all of the iconic like trainers.
Of course.
They're adding some more trainers. Trainers will receive 5-star champion select scout tickets, no cost when they log in between February 26th and Sunday, March 26th.
Yeah, I see Pokemon Day is coming up, so we're going to get even more Pokemon news. Pokemon Day is Thursday, March 16th. So I think once the Mario stuff is done after this week, I think we're going to get... Well, this was the Pokemon Direct. I don't know. Why not do this stuff on the Pokemon Day?
That's
that's where the Game Boy stuff comes in. I see.
Hopefully.
They cleared all this stuff out of the way. I see where you're going with this, Mickey. Newsmaster.
Next, they talk about the long-awaited Pokemon Sleep, which has to be the most boring Pokemon news I think I've heard in a really long time. Pokemon, so boring it puts you to sleep. No, I kid. But for real, it is a game. It is a application that you put on your phone to track your sleep.
So this is neat. As someone who is interested in data, and someone who tinkered for like 2 weeks when he got his new watch with the whole Apple sleeping thing.
I'm about to say, as somebody who already has a Apple device that will do that for you.
So many other things.
I mean,
like
a Fitbit will do it for you.
Amazon has that thing that like listens to you.
Yeah, you name it.
I don't know. You get a device with it. You can buy the little thing.
No, you can buy the little thing. So this, you literally put your smartphone next to your bed. It tracks your sleeping, puts you in 3 different categories of sleep.
It's kind of a game. The Pokemon will like come up to you depending on your sleep type.
And the Pokemon gather around you based on your sleep
while
type.
You're sleeping. They move in on you for the kill.
There is a new accessory to go along with this. We have the Pokemon Go Plus, which was like the little thing on the wristband for Pokemon Go. Mm-hmm. This is now the Pokemon Go Plus.
Plus. Come on.
Points for originality, y'all.
That kills me. Plus kills me.
Yeah. Which will also pair with Pokemon Go, but also will pair with Pokemon Sleep. You can set it by your bed. It has basically, they said it's like a Pikachu companion in there, so it can wake you up with like Pikachu alarms. It makes little
yes, please, because everyone wants to wake up with that noises. Electric mouse screaming at you.
I thought, that won't get old quick. But I'm sure, hey, obviously it's not geared towards us. Somebody saw this.
That thing in the commercial was an adult. It's geared towards us. It was a white dude with a beard. It was literally marketed towards us.
There were several different people. I saw so many.
Yes, there were several examples in the marketing. Yes.
All sorts of demographic in there. But yes, like I said, they're getting you with Pokemon Sleep. They want you to go out with Pokemon Go, trade your Pokemon with Pokemon Home, brush your teeth with Pokemon Shine,
poop with Pokemon Dump.
I know it's they just want it everywhere.
Wario64 said
Pokemon suppositories.
Pika Pika. Wario64 said Pikachu is forever trapped inside that Pokemon Plus Go Plus thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Pikachu.
Poor Pikachu.
Poor bastard. I mean, it's kind of cool.
But then
it's kind of cool.
It is. It's kind of cool for somebody.
There are people who are super interested in their health, their sleep health tracking stuff, and it's just not something I need to know every day, day in and day out. I like tracking it out of a curiosity sometimes. Yeah. Like I did turn it back on when I was camping to see if that affected. Like it was a different environment. So is that a different sleeping pattern for me outside of how I usually sleep at home? And
but I think this is going to be more of a look. It's kind of a fun thing rather than it's actually going to give you more in-depth.
Fitbit and Apple are so boring. They're just graphs. Now you have like a Zapdos came to visit you, and that's you're right. It is more of an entertainment. They're trying to bridge that gap of, and to my knowledge, there may be some out there. People can yell at us in the chat or send angry emails to Russell at NOFODcast@gmail.com. there's not a sort of game thing with the health or the sleep tracker across the multiple platforms. I don't know that anybody has incorporated something like that. And if they have, it doesn't have the attachment of a franchise or a property with the haul and the overall aura of Pokemon and the everything that audience can bring to that sort of health tracking. So I'm interested to see what it does. I mean, people are going to talk about it when it comes out, or they'll send the review units out to press, which we are not, which would be cool one day. I would love to be able to do stuff like that and write articles or talk about stuff that's coming out like that, but maybe one day.
And then lastly, they went into some more stuff with Scarlet and Violet. Not that they're fixing the game,
no technical
issues or anything. They did have an update for the game. They really did. They had a software update, and from everything I've heard, in some respects, it actually makes the game run worse than original.
How does that happen?
There's some. I don't know. Because people are saying they removed certain NPCs and Pokemon from some things to make things run smoother. But there's been instances of people going into the area and it's fine. Everything is actually running somewhat smooth, and then they leave and they come back to the area and it's running even worse than it was before the update.
That's totally an engine thing too. That's some sort of optimization on how that compiles stuff.
People have figured it out. It's some kind of like memory issue, like a memory cache or something, and it's a known thing at this point. And I don't know why they are not kind of like honing in on that and trying to fix that.
I wonder if
because the performance issues I've seen where like a windmill is
every episode
every time.
Thank you, Siri.
Every time. Where you'll see a windmill in the background and it's moving at like maybe 2 or 3 frames,
like a clock.
It's
some
supposed
fluid
to be
thing.
This nice. Yeah, it's supposed to be like something from think of the Ocarina of Time windmill. It's nice gradual movement. This is like it's ticking like a clock.
Count the seconds as the windmill turns.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they did go in. New Paradox versions of Pokemon are appearing in more Terra Raid battles. There's...
I like that stalking lizard thing, that dinosaur-looking thing with the mane that was walking around. That thing was cool.
It's a version of Suicune and Virizion. I'm trying to see...
One of them is Wake. Walking Wake. And the other one is Iron Leaves.
There we go.
In the Terra Raid battles. I don't know either one of those Pokemon.
Yeah. They're both legendary Pokemon, but they're Paradox versions of it. So yeah, Iron Leaves would be the Virizion, where Walking Wake would be the Suicune. You should know Suicune. It's from Generation 2. It's the legendaries in Generation 2. It's on the front of Pokemon Crystal.
Okay. That's where I recognize that thing from, I guess.
And then very lastly, they did talk about a brand new expansion coming very soon to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Paid DLC, Hidden Treasures of Area Zero, Part 1.
This was beautiful. This video they started off with like all the watercolors and stuff. This was gorgeous.
What was this? The Teal Mask has you visiting the land of Kitakami on a school trip. Will be released in fall 2023, where Part 2 is the Indigo Disc. We'll see you become an exchange student at the Blueberry Academy. And is slated for winter 2023.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Of course, going to be like some new Pokemon and things to see in that. You could go and pre-order them. They were more expensive. I think they were $39 for the DLC. this go around.
Damn, that's kind of high for add-on.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this will get a standalone release of some kind.
Probably not. If anything, they'll do another SKU, just like they did
Sword and Shield, where it comes with the expansion pass.
Yeah, plus expansion pass when it's just the code in the box.
Yeah.
It's not like it's on the card. So
it looked good.
But you can look forward to that.
More of that.
It's already up for pre-order.
I had a sneaking feeling at the end of them showing that off that they were going to throw it in that Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, like they do with Splatoon and Animal Crossing. I thought it would.
Not at that.
Not at $40. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If it was less, if you got both of them for 40 or they were 20 a piece, maybe I could see that being a bonus in there. But I wonder what they're going to start throwing in that thing outside of. Well, we've gotten recent additions, so
it's funny you asked that, because in our next article,
what else is coming up, Brant?
Coming up March 9th, as well as that being the day before Mario Day, they are throwing
Mario Brothers movie direct day.
They're throwing the Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Wave Pass 4 in there.
What does that get me? What does Wave Course Pass Wave 4 get me? Booster.
Well,
I can't breathe.
Gosh. And you got the hiccups.
I'm dying.
You got the hiccups. Oh, damn.
I'm dying.
Well, on top of getting a new character, Birdo, who is this, crazy new character, Birdo? You get several new courses.
We want Birdo back. What was Birdo's actual name?
Who's Birdo? I don't know who Birdo is. You get, I think the little thing here is just where they came from. I'm just gonna say them by their name. Yeah. Amsterdam Drift, Riverside Park, DK Summit, Yoshi's Island, Bangkok Rush, Mario Circuit, Waluigi Stadium, and Singapore Speedway.
I'm guessing Singapore is from the tour. Tour versions.
Yeah. Amsterdam and Singapore. Yeah, Amsterdam. Yeah, all come from the tour.
Amsterdam wasn't in Double Dash.
Oh, and Bangkok.
That wasn't a famous Double Dash course, Amsterdam.
But yeah, these will be available to everybody that already has the expansion pass. Plus, of course, you can just buy the DLC pack for Mario Kart. But also on top of this, they're adding a brand new game to our Game Boy Advanced lineup as well.
Yeah.
We are getting Metroid Fusion.
All time great, a classic as far as I'm concerned.
It's a beautiful game. If you haven't played it, definitely play it toward the end of this week.
It'll look good on that OLED Switch too. Those colors. That one had a totally different color scheme and everything until outside of that Metroid series up until that point. It did a lot of stuff with it. And like looking back, I was thinking about, because I bought Metroid Prime and I asked for Fusion. I got Fusion for Christmas. I was like, yes, I can link them together now. And I vastly preferred Fusion at the time. And it was it's a little hand-holdy, I guess, for a Metroid game. They're a little bit more free with their guidance. Like the hint system is not a hint system. It's like, go here to figure out what's happening here. And I've heard some recent criticism saying that made it better suited for a portable. Like instead of being lost, exactly what we were talking about before. You want to be able to knock it out in a session to where you can get to a save point or something, and not worry about running out of batteries or something like that, And so each area would lead with like the map room and the save room and the story bit. And so it was kind of paced to be built for a portable experience.
See, you have people that cry on both ends. Yeah. You have people that look at something like that and it's like, oh, it's telling me where to go. That's no fun. I need to be able to explore.
It took away the joy of getting lost in a Metroid game.
Yeah. But then when you have Metroid Dread come out, you have noted video game journalists and people that are pretty credited video game creators coming out and criticize Well, how would I know to do that? How would I know to shoot this block over here? I'm like, come on, man. Really?
And the first Zelda game had us like burning random bushes and
yeah. I am the very middle of the road like Metroid player. I mean, I'm not, like a diehard speedrunner or doing anything crazy. I play them because I enjoy them. I love that series. But I remember playing Dread and all the other ones, and if I got stuck, I looked it up. Metroid Dread, I don't even feel like I really ever got stuck on anything. It was a Metroid. At that, you know how to feel out a Metroid game if you get stuck. If you're like, okay, I've looked all over this room. There's like a couple other rooms, but you already know, okay, I think something over here, something like this looks a little different, or you kind of, what exactly, not exactly where you have to go, but kind of like in your head what thought process to go through to figuring it out.
Right.
Because they're I don't want to say samey, but it's or predictable.
I talked about this at one point where friend of the show Jeremy's playing Link's Awakening, the remake for Switch, and he's confused by certain things like, oh, I wish I known I could have just pushed the block. Like everything else had been yelling at me, say I need an item to pick up the thing, but these blocks I can push. And it's part of that language that, like, we've been playing Zelda games for 30 years. This is his first one. We understand the sword, shield, blocks, power bracelet, rock's feather. Like, we know, okay, there's a pit in front of me that's exactly one space. I know I'm going to get the thing that'll hop me over that. And, almost akin to a Metroid game, I'm eventually going to get an item that I can come back to and that'll open up that area for me. I can now jump over that one whole space. And then you'll see 4 spaces together. Okay, I've got to get something to where I can either fly further or run and then jump. So there's a language to those. And maybe it's because we hadn't had a Metroid game in so long. Until, was it Fusion? No, Fusion was like 2002. But I think Metroid Prime...
The last Metroid was like Metroid Prime
3. And then Samus Returns, which is technically a remake.
Yeah, and then Samus Returns. And that was I really enjoyed that game.
I did not get far in that one. I didn't like the parry stuff. I just didn't. I put it down after the parry stuff. I need to give it another shot. But I loved Metroid 2. I loved the Game Boy one. So it was like, this isn't the one I remember.
And you can play that one too.
That one is also on Nintendo Switch Online. This value gets better and better. And a certain individual who we may be tied to with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion family said July is the renewal date. So it's not too far away, but it's not too close either.
And I need to ask him if there's anybody that does not want to
that wants to fall off.
Yeah, if there's anybody that wants to fall off, I will probably pick up another account.
It's ready to buy the slot. The individual who holds
pick up another account.
Do what now?
I said I'd probably pick up another account.
Yeah, the individual who holds the family membership, he's gonna be auctioning off the slots this year. He's gonna make money off of it. It's a deal for everybody at $40. Why not pay him $40 for each one of the slots, and he could just make bank on the farming the family memberships. I'm surprised there's not like Reddit groups and stuff where people are putting these things together.
Oh, there probably is.
You're just at the mercy of whether they decide to suspend their account or auto renew or whatever. Yeah, we'll all kick that around. I think I know everyone in that stable, so we can figure it out from there. Hey, that service gets better and better. We all talked about it a couple years ago, and I was kind of on the edge. Like the $20 tier is not even that great. I'm just playing online occasionally, nothing major. I'll duck in there and play some.
I was thinking about ditching.
Yep, I'll jump in there and play some Super Metroid or something. And then when you break down that's $10 a person, and you get way more shit with that one, it's like it becomes a no-brainer, especially with them adding stuff. On that note, do you think in the next year or two, or however long it takes for them to announce a Switch successor, do you think we get GameCube or any other platform? Or do you think they're going to keep fleshing out Game Boy for a while?
I think with Game Boy Color Game Boy Color and Advance, they have quite the and N64. They still have some N64 stuff they can throw in there.
What can they add to that?
I think.
What's missing from that?
I don't know. Quest 64.
Oh, Brant. I said, what's missing from that? Ogre Battle.
It's not on there. Ogre Battle.
Harvest Moon. Since Harvest Moon just came to that PlayStation service, that might be something they're looking to harvest out that franchise a little bit more.
They could further their relationship with Microsoft and get more of the Rare stuff on there as well.
That'd be huge. Is Banjo-Kazooie on there? I'm thinking no. And they're on Smash. That would make sense.
I don't remember if Kazooie's on there or not.
It is.
I
think I would have at least tried it out. All right. We don't have a shit ton of content this week. We've got devices that can look this up for us. N64 games. Here we go. Nintendo Switch Online N64 games. Is Diddy Kong Racing on there yet?
No. That's a good one.
Oh, this is the wrong list. It led off with Turok, and I was like, I know Turok's not on there.
No, that's not on there.
That's ported to the Nintendo Switch system. All right, what does this get you? Nintendo 64, Switch Online. Mario Kart 64, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Paper Mario, Super Mario 64, Dr. Mario 64, Yoshi's Story, GoldenEye 007, Sin and Punishment, Banjo-Kazooie. You were right.
I was going to say, I think at least the first one was on there.
Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Mario Party 1 and 2. So we're still waiting on Mario Party 3. Pilot Wing 64, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Wave Race 64, Win Back Covert Operations, and then Yoshi Story again. Yeah.
We're waiting on Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
What's the use of having those anymore? Is there anything without that, unless you have that integration if it comes to the...
I'd say if they add Game Boy Color stuff
that would be I wouldn't mess with that. I don't think I would dabble with the Game Boy games. I don't know if I would mess with that integration, but people would be talking about that shit. It would be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking about this the other day. Cesar talks about, I don't know if he's told this personal story on the podcast, but he had kind of moved away from Nintendo stuff. He was playing RPGs on PS1 and Dreamcast and things like that. And Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel, the Game Boy Color one, he got that for Game Boy Color, and it was like this whole new, it opened up Game Boy Color and all that kind of stuff for him. And I think that one's kind of lost to time and very, very expensive. I think Ghost Babel would be, and it's not called Ghost Babel on the box, I don't think. I think it's just called Metal Gear Solid for Game Boy Color, but yeah, the story is Ghost Babel. I think that would be a huge one. And if you're going ahead and doing the expansion pass stuff, or the expansion pack stuff, was that what that was called? Or was it controller pack?
It was the transfer pack.
PAK. It's some kind of pack. We're full of packs here. They could do the Perfect Dark one. If you drop Perfect Dark and do the Game Boy Color Perfect Dark, which was a whole nother experience, but it added to, like, you could do some things between the 64 and the Game Boy Color version there with that transfer pack. So if you're going to go ahead and you have the Pokemon Stadium stuff.
Obviously, they're not going to do it, but it would be really cool if they could integrate somehow the transfer pack and some kind of camera add-on. They did the stuff for the Pokemon stuff, but if they could do like the Game Boy Color filter with that with the Game Boy camera, with that printer, the way like the printer would print out. Yeah, the original ROM with Perfect Dark. The Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
How they wanted to put people's faces
but people were doing like dick pics and had the dicks running around in the multiplayer. So they took that out. They were like, no, we can't have this in our game. I remember when those Game Boy cameras were out, and I don't know anyone that had one. I've seen that and the printer, but I don't recall anyone ever doing anything with it.
I almost sent you a video yesterday because I've been thinking about buying one of those Game Boy cameras just to have it. there is somebody that has done a full mod where you 3D print a shell, exchange the shell, and you can put like all these different lenses and stuff on.
Shit.
Okay, I'm probably going to send it
work.
to you because honestly, it's kind of impressive. I mean, it still looks like that shitty digital camera. But it's actually kind of impressive. It looks pretty damn good.
Let's head into games played. Before we go into games played, let's take like a 30-second break. Let's leave it silent so I know where to cut it out, but we'll be right back in like 30 seconds. It's harder when there's not three of us. You could just duck out and the other person carries on. All right, that was a hard-earned break. Well-earned break. You must have sent me the video.
Yes, I found it and just.
Renee said he played Soul Hacker 2. We should have added him to the call and let him talk about some Soul Hacker 2. My week consisted of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2.0, I guess, and some Metroid Prime Remaster. Advanced pretty far into that one. Warzone, we played Monday. Did we get a win? So I've played so many sessions just here and there.
No.
Yeah. They all start to blend together. So it must have been, was there anything of note with our Monday sessions?
No, we had some crazy rounds, but nothing like of note.
So Friday night, over the course of probably 8 drops, we got 2 wins out of the trios. So nice. We reintroduce, and here's the problem with, it's not a problem, it's a good problem to have. You get excited about something, and we saw this with Halo, where it went from us being like 3 or 4 people that would play to all of a sudden you have to fill out like a big team battle. So we have so many people. It's with Warzone, it's up to 4. So luckily, like sometimes when we play at lunch, we can do duos or trios, right? And I did see probably by the time the episode comes out, maybe it's the 7th. No, it'll be up by the time you're listening to this, it'll be live the next day. So not quite yet, but the way Resurgence works, and we played that one together, right? Where you keep respawning. Yeah. So it's not the gulag, all that Resurgence reminder. You keep respawning as long as somebody's alive, you can get back in. And so that's only been for solos, duos, and quads for some reason. And now they're making it open for trios. So if you have a trio and you don't want to do the regular Royale or the minis, you can do because they brought the minis back too, that's my jam. I love if I'm going to do one of the more long form ones, I love those trio minis. But that's actually what we won with Friday was the trio minis. We did 2 of those. We introduced, where I was going with this whole bit was we introduced another player, friend of the show, Mark, and he's playing with us from Arizona, and it was awesome getting on there with him. And it's another case of like he bought the Series S when it was on sale over the holidays for $250 or $200, whatever it was at Target after the gift card. And it's a free game. I still can't believe I was talking to Russell about this the other day. It's like, this is like a fully fleshed, addictive, you don't have to buy anything. I bought the Battle Pass, and I still can't really tell what I'm doing in it versus not. It's not changing the way the game, it's cosmetic stuff. It's not changing the way that the game is played for anybody, and here's this free game that he can just play online with us and chat with us, and it's just incredible how far things have come as we think about the $60 game experience and now the $70 game experience, and you have this thing that, like, I'm thinking about this game when I'm not playing it. It's like, man, I'm itching to drop and get my fix. We were camping last weekend, and I didn't have a chance to play for like 4 or 5 days. I was fiending for some Warzone. And when I came back, it's just like, oh God, finally, I'm getting that fix. I get to drop on the island and loot some stuff and try to kill people.
I know on Monday you were getting into it. We finished a round. You were like, I'm shaking.
That was it. It was a close finish Monday. Yeah, and it does that to me when we get down to the end. I'm like, I'm shaking at the end of it. It's so tense and nerve wracking to me.
And I think it was our last round where, like, friend of the show Dale was with us, and he had like post up downstairs. I was laid up upstairs watching the stairs. I killed some stairs, and you were like trying to get your shit back and, you know, trying to loot their bodies.
Oh God, I do remember that.
Then all of a sudden you go down, and I go around the corner, around the stairs, kill that guy, turn around to get you up, and another guy comes up the stairs, and we're like, Dale, he's up the stairs, go get him. And Dale, like, huh? What? And, like, goes to walk up the stairs, and the dude comes down and gets him. He's like, oh, damn.
Mowed down. That's a problem with Resurgence that's the way the game is played, is you always have people respawning as long as someone's up. So when you see team wipe, it's almost a celebration, like, okay, nobody's coming back, at least in this vicinity, because they will come right back for their shit, and they're right there on top of you, and it could be 1, 2, or 3 at a time. So it's this shift of, okay, you took the thing. So we like to, on that smaller map, can't remember the exact name of the map, but there's an area called Shipwreck, and there's 2 boats. And so when there's...
Don't give away our secrets.
There's 3 people listening to this, but 50-ish will listen to it on the podcast. So if you ever play with us, let us know if you want to play with us. I don't know. Community engagement. Sure, maybe that's something we'll get into. Reach out to us, NOFODcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send us your gamer tags. Get on there for a community stream. We'll play. Renee's.
Reach out on Twitter, Instagram,
something on there. Jump on there with us. Renee will play with us from time to time as part of our community. But we like to land on the Shipwreck. There's 2 boats, so we'll call like North Boat or South Boat, and people split up and go that way. And
one time, you guys, I didn't have any visitors. You guys had like a whole team land on y'all.
Went to the one ship. And so there's this ebb and flow. Like, do they wipe everybody? Do they then start shooting at that ship? Are they able to land? Do they come from there's like a little overhang on the cliff above?
Yeah.
Like a rock outcropping above the ships that people can fire down on or jump down and sail down from there. So you never know what's going to turn into a hotspot from any moment. And I think as long as those regular Battle Royale rounds can be, it's great to have a mode where you are constantly respawning, and there's an incentive to killing people because it'll lower that respawn amount. If you loot stuff, people come back faster. So if we're in a pinch, like, I definitely think that's the lunchtime hour block is full of those, because you never know what the Battle Royales. It could be a 10-minute round, it could be a 40-minute round. If you win, if you win, you're going to be 40-ish minutes in, or if you come in second or third, you're going to be 40-ish miness in. It's going to get down to the nitty gritty.
You may get 1, maybe 2 matches in.
Our first dub, as the kids say, or W, our first George W of Friday night. We were in like this hotel area, and right outside of it is a fountain, right? And we're getting stuff. I think we had all just kind of, somebody got out of the, did they get out of the gulag? I was buying back people this round. I had a shit ton of money, and for some reason, every time we went to a buyback station, it was clear. So I'm buying people back left and right, and there's 3 of us. It's myself, friend of the show Russell, and friend of the show Mark. And we're leaving this hotel lobby. It's probably, we're in the top 10 team wise. We're starting to leave this lobby. I'm the level up, and they're like around the corner from me in this little alcove thing. This other team comes busting in the front of the lobby, away from the circle, away from the way the circle's going towards the gas. Like, you know, we're working our way in. they're busting back towards us. I was like, how does this happen? And they got Russell and Mark, but they put enough hits on them to where I could come in and I got either 2 or 3 of them. I got all of that team. And I'm getting their stuff, and there's a gold gun. When you see a gold gun, you're like, oh shit, here we go. And it was I think it was the Soviet. And then I'm just kind of waiting outside that lobby. I've got good stuff. I've got full health. You know, I'm in that holding pattern. And there's no way to buy them back. It's just me. And they're like, go ahead. It's top 10. Just finish it out and see how it goes. And I crept towards this fountain. And as you know, at the end of a war zone, it's all about location. Are you in a good spot? Is it closing around you? Is it coming back to you? Is it moving away from you? All that sort of stuff. We've won one together, right? Didn't we get a war zone dub? Okay.
Cesar won it.
That's right. Cesar got it. Yep. Cesar landed it. But as that circle is moving, it's pushing everybody around the fountain towards me. So I got one in front of me. I take them down. The person who was across there had been looking at them. There's steps going up to the fountain, and I'm just barely looking over the top of the steps to where I'm looking at, like feet level for them. So I kill that person. Somebody had been popping at them because they were looking at them. They're creeping around the fountain looking to where that person died at, and I just see their whole figure, and I take them down. And then I see it's one person. Oh my God, it's just me and them. And so now the circle's shifting. It's closed in around that fountain, and I was kind of hugging the outside, like bobbing up and down looking. And I'll send you this video. It was a really good clip. And so I'm hugging the fountain as the circle shifts, and I've got my headset, and Russell and Mark are quiet. Like they were talking to me, trying to offer support for a minute, but then they're quiet. And I hear on the left side, I hear, and I looked back to the left behind me, and then I checked to the left, and there's somebody in the bushes, like looking another direction. So I start laying into them. They see me, and you see my shields pop, but I drop them, and then you see the victory thing, and it's like, yes! And that was like, Mark had just started playing Warzone. That was like his second or third round, maybe. And he gets a dub, and he sees it. It's like, yes! And then the next one is maybe 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds after that. We get another one. And it closes in around, there's a shipyard with pipes in it, like big concrete pipes, right? Like you can duck down into them and walk around. But it's not the one with all of the pipes, so I don't know what area it is. But all of a sudden, as the gas is like closing in on this one spot, and it's all 3 of us. I have no ammo. I think they just bought me back or something, and I have nothing. I had a gun that I picked up in that ammo, and I had another gun that I picked up in that ammo. And working into that circle, I ran out of everything. So as we're creeping in from these pipes, we got pipes on either side. We'd killed one person in there. I glance up in the corner, and I see 2 teams, 6 people. And I'm like, okay, we got our 3. It's 3v3 at this point. And so I've got 10 shots maybe in one gun. And we're going up over this hill, and we fan out like we do. And I think I downed somebody, and then Russell killed him. Then Mark downed somebody, and Russell got that person. And then I was out of ammo, and the last person downed Mark, and he's behind a box. He's behind it's one of those drops, one of the loadout things. So I was like, if I need the ammo, I might have to get it. But I'm trying to res Mark first because he's got cover. And then as I'm trying to res Mark, the guy that Russell had dropped behind the like where the guy was hiding at, the gas moved in and destroyed him, and that was it. And you see the victory pop up, and it's like, yes, we got another one. So then, of course, the Warzone gods giveth, and the Warzone gods taketh away. We got none last night in 15 rounds or so. But the Warzone pool grows. Everybody I know is playing it. Friend of the show, Robbie, was on there with us last night, and we had some good rounds. Cesar got on there with us last night, and we had some close finishes, but nothing, mostly frustration where you get down to the nitty gritty and somebody's just like shooting you in the back. I hate having good stuff like level 5 weapons, and you're just running. You think you're good. You're going from one building to the next, and you're shot in the back from nowhere, and you never even saw anybody. You have all this good shit, all this ammo, and you never shot a single you never fired a single shot the whole time. I hate it. Oh, but it's still so much fun. Metroid Prime Remastered. We were talking about it last week, and I mentioned the suits and stuff I got, and you were like, yeah, that sounds like it's towards the end. I've gotten one more beam. I got the plasma beam, and I got another suit. I had gotten the gravity suit, and now I have... Damn, what is that one called? Maybe it was the gravity suit. No, I've gotten more. So I added on to the ice beam. There's like an ice beam particle. It separates. It's like an upgrade for the ice beam. And then I got an upgrade for the wave beam. There's a bit where you go up into the top of this temple and you're shooting around the supports around the outside. And the like levels drop. Real cool level design. You shoot the supports around and the temple thing is like literally dropping all around you as you try to move up and jump through these different platforming sections. And then at the top of that was a wave beam accessory. Visor, that's what I meant. Not a new suit. I got the X-ray visor, which is really cool because there's certain spots in the environment, and I was like, could you have known to do this without the X-ray visor? Because the X-ray visor, when you turn it on, you'll see platforms and stuff that were there, that were not there before. So I'm like, how would you have known? Is it specifically because of this thing? And the section I was in, I took down the X-ray visor, and it's raining in this area. And you can see where the rain is hitting the platform, and it's just like, it's bouncing up like a rain hitting a puddle in the street or something. And you never would have seen that because you have to like look up in this one corner of this room. I don't think you ever would have seen that without the X-ray visor and then turning it off to see that that platform is there. And you can actually jump to it with the X-ray visor off. It's there. You just don't see it unless you hone in and see the drops coming in from the where it bounces back. And that was just that game design is just like, oh, this is beautiful. That game constantly makes you feel like you're in a living, breathing environment that wants to destroy you. It's like the Amazon. Everything there is trying to kill you. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That frog is gorgeous, but it's a poison dart frog. If it gets you, you're dead. Metroid is a very same isolating, atmospheric. Oh man, it's good. I've got where it may catch up to me is I have 5 of the 12 artifacts. I don't know if there's like a sudden thing like your Triforce quest at the end of Wind Waker. I don't know if there's like this sudden thing like artifact. But I've been picking them up as I go across the map. And I don't know if it's going to all add up at one point or if there's one that's like 6 pieces or something like that. But I'm just slowly knocking those out and getting missile upgrades. I've got 115 missiles, I think, which is a shit ton. Until everything you shoot starts using the missiles now. So like that ice beam upgrade, you hold it down and it spreads out that thing, but it uses the missiles, and the wave beam thing or it's plasma beam. I just got the plasma beam, and it shoots out this constant beam of energy. And I just got that, and I haven't really had a chance to use it against anything, but I'm progressing. It's a constant. I'm way further in Metroid Prime than I ever got, and I thought I had gotten pretty far into it before, and I had never even scratched the surface. I got the grappling hook not too long ago, so that opened up. There's this room in Magmore Caverns that you see early on, but it's this long pool of liquid hot magma that you can't cross until you get the grappling hook, and then you could shift across it. My physical copy came in. Did yours? I think you sent us a picture. Were you going to post the picture? Oh, it's posted. I need to get on there and like it. Your volume went down considerably. I don't know if you changed anything. A little bit? You just sound quieter for some reason. Did I turn down my volume? I don't think so. Those seem to be more out in the wild. Like people were posting pictures like I found it. It was just in Walmart, or here's that rare game everybody's talking about. It's in Target. There's 19 copies. My brother's copy was delivered. What's that?
Surprise. It's what is
surprise indie hit?
Surprise.
The Nintendo Shadow dropped. They're reprinting more copies of it. But this is it's gonna go down as one of the top games. I love every second of it, and Renee says he can hear you, so maybe it's just something on my end. I'll be in that conundrum again like I've been in the past 5 years. Do I play Metroid Prime 2 on GameCube? Do I play on Wii? Do I wait for the remaster? We're definitely getting some port of it of some kind on a newer platform. Did you start it yet, just out of curiosity?
I have not, considering I have 2 games that I am...
You're working your way through
in the middle of right now.
Oh, you're not like me where you just completely abandon a playthrough of something and pop in another game and forget the other one?
I really have to be on something and like half interested in it, like, and then like a brand new game comes out that I'm like, I have to play this right now. kind of thing to drop everything to play a game. Usually once I start playing a game, I like to see it through.
Yeah.
So
I would like to too. I wish I was like that. I need to go back to, because Warzone's taking up my free time. If it wasn't for Warzone and Metroid Prime, like I'm actively playing that any free chance I have to that's portable, because I want to get back to Psychonauts. It seems like when I jump into Psychonauts, it's like a 2-hour block, and I'm able to knock out some of that. But I definitely want to get back to that. Like, it's one of those where Renee says, "Okay, he does sound low. You do sound a little low," he says.
Weird.
That sounds better.
I haven't changed.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm just moving closer to the
I think that's what it was. I know where I'm at in that, so I think that's also a testament, because some of these games and it's like Legend of Dragoon. I haven't played that in 6 months, but I know exactly where I'm at in that. I think it's a testament to those two game designs and story and everything that it's still like fresh on my mind. I won't have to jump back in there and be like, what the hell's happening? I think I'll have beaten Metroid Prime by next week, possibly. I don't have much to go unless this artifact thing just acts super crazy. I don't know exactly what it's going to consist of, but I've got all the visors, and I believe I have all the beams now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute, but I don't think you're too far.
Yeah. Renee says, I'm addicted to Warzone. I can never leave. Join the addiction. Yes, I'm addicted to Warzone. It's so fucking good. I get now what everybody was talking about. Oh, on the note of like everybody that I know is playing, I've had some coworkers that have been begging me to play Warzone since the first one, years ago. And one of the guys who hadn't played games in probably 2 years or so, he had a new addition to the family, so he hadn't gone back to gaming in a minute. And us talking about it got him fired up, and he's on there. So as soon as he sees me on the Xbox, he shoot me a party invite. He's like, let's go, let's jump. So I've got like these multiple groups. We basically have a podcast squad. And then I've got one with my brother and his friends. I've got one with coworkers. I've got one with my brother-in-law and his friends. And it's just like, we have these Warzone groups. We're all plotting to figure out. I would love a bigger Battle Royale team if we did like 8v8, v8, v8. Yeah. That would just be something. It'd be so hard to wipe a team. It'd be MAG. We'd be back to MAG.
I was about to say, we got to bring back MAG.
Oh, MAG was good as hell. Oh, Renee says Warzone is calling my name. Yes, I would like to be playing Warzone right now. If we could figure out a way to put Warzone inside the podcast recording, and we just play Warzone.
Live stream.
Yeah, that works too. It's so good. Play more Warzone and play Metroid Prime Trilogy Remastered. It's a great remaster. I'm unlocking stuff. Like, I haven't really dipped back into the menu to see the artwork and the music. There's a soundtrack player in there too, but it's constantly telling you as you unlock stuff and scan stuff and acquire items, it's telling you, you've unlocked so-and-so in the menu. You've unlocked so-and-so. So there's plenty of stuff to like go back into in the main menu. And I've listened to a little bit of the soundtrack, and people have dumped it, thankfully, because the soundtrack got remastered too. So people have dumped that soundtrack. So this is how you do a remaster, man. If I could, it seems like the Suikoden games are getting the same thing. It seems the same sort of quality upscale. I know it's a lot different with a 3D game versus a 2D game, but it seems like it's getting the same sort of treatment and HD remastering of those same assets and stuff. So hopefully that one's as good and adds the same type of additions. I hope so. Well, those are mine. I went on for way longer than I thought I was going to. Those are my games played for this week. Tell me about Skyward Sword.
So last week I actually forgot to mention something that I played. I started Legends of Dragoon on PS5.
And you're playing it on stream.
I am streaming it. I did notice some of the audio and visual effects were funky. There were known issues with the audio cutting out at times, and some weird like artifacts and glitches and stuff.
Did they fix that? I think you mentioned on the show they had announced there was a patch coming up or some sort of update.
Monday, when I turned on my console to play Warzone.
That's right, you told us. You told us it was
I saw
on there.
Legends of Dragoon had an update, and later I saw somebody, I think it was on Twitter, saying that, no more bugs, glitches, audio issues, nothing. So they fixed it very quickly.
Fast.
Very quickly.
PS1 game got an update real quick. Look at that.
I know. This is still one of the most amazing RPGs of all time. I'll fight it. I'll fight and
You're
die on
dying on
that
that
hill.
hill?
I will die on that hill. My first stream
Volcano!
I played.
I keep missing these. I don't know how I'm not getting the go live notifications. I just checked. It did it for us. I don't know if something's off. Did you have viewers on the stream?
A few.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I even had somebody, I think on my the second stream, just kind of dropped me a hint saying it's something I already know. But, they were like, helpful hint from, somebody that's a longtime Dragoon player. You can use the triggers to like reposition the camera.
I didn't know that.
While you're fighting. You didn't know that? See, because this was something because I saw it and I said, thank you, but I'm also a longtime Dragoon aficionado.
But just giving some community feedback. That's the fun. Fun thing in streams, and I've seen some streams listed as backseat friendly, like people are going to offer you stuff. That shit is so cool to me. That's one of the great things about this podcast is hearing how differently we play games or something we may have seen that somebody else didn't see.
But yeah, during the battles, you can actually use the triggers to move the battle camera, because there's some angles.
That's awesome.
There's some angles that when you run in to do those additions, it can get a little weird from certain angles that it's harder to hit them. And if I haven't played in a really long time, it takes me a while to get in the groove. I'm surprised this time. I'm usually hitting them pretty consistently. I just got, I want to say Rod Typhoon in my one of my last playthroughs for the character Lavitz with the spear, and that one's really involved and has, I think it's 4 or 5 hits, and it's like boom, 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 and it's like you just have to be right on time. And if you get any of those enemies throwing like the counter attacks in there, it can just immediately throw a wrench into that momentum. But as far as I've gotten through 3 playthroughs, I've got through of course the beginning of the game. Like I said, I rescued Shauna, got Lavitz. I just my last playthrough was we defended the town of Hope.
I did that. That's where I'm at in the game, and then I went to the next town after that. Like it's a big open, huge town.
Well, the Battle of Hoax is where you meet the Kongol, the last humongous was it Giganto?
It's a big dude. That was a hard fight. That was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, some of the fights, I think it's because by this time I've played them 4 or 5 times. A lot of these big fights, I know when to guard. I'm not using. I get to the point where I guard a lot sometimes just to make sure I build up my health to a certain level. Rather than using the healing potions, the healing breezes and stuff.
It's really balanced on that front. I feel like a lot of RPGs will, if you do a guard or a block or something like that, you're just burning a turn essentially. It's an actual tactic in Dragoon.
But because guarding not only it guards you, it raises your health by whatever percentage. And also, if you get hit the next turn, it halves the damage. So it's a beautiful mechanic in it. And
especially for the boss battle where that guy's going to come out and smack you.
Oh my gosh. He does all these freaking clotheslines. He runs up and grabs you, Dart and Lavitz by the head and smashes you all together and then throws you against the wall.
I gotta get my playthrough of this, especially since we're around the same area.
So after that, you unlock Dart unlocks his Dragoon power. Rose joins the party, and then you continue because there's a war going on, and they're worried about the dragon. One side has this dragon, and they're worrying about it tearing up the town. So you're now on this path to go fight the green dragon.
You go to a swamp or something after that,
green
right?
Tusk dragon. You go to a swamp, and then immediately from the swamp go to a volcano. So I'm in the volcano. You fight. What's that thing called? The Verage?
You might have passed me then, because I don't think I'm in some big town.
It's a in the lore, it's this creature that the Winglies used to fight against the Dragoons. And at this point, it's decrepit. It's been in the lava, it petrified. It comes out, and you fight it. I remember the first time I fought it forever ago. That really giving me some trouble, but this time, I felt like I beat it really quickly. And the biggest thing is it's body. It's got one arm floating there, and then its head. And it's one of those battles where you don't have to attack anything but the head. And if you just attack the head, it eventually just dies.
Are there, is that because as soon as you said that, I started smiling. The dragon tank on Chrono Trigger used to be my nemesis. Right after the trial, you're trying to flee the castle, and that dragon tank is running you over and stuff. And that thing destroyed me on Super Nintendo, and I hated that part. And it's ever since then, I just know how to fight it or something. And it just doesn't. It's not the thing that it I hated from my childhood. So you talking about that thing was so tough, but now I know what to do with it. And the dragon tank was mine, because my friend was like, dude, the dragon tank, why are you stuck on that thing? It's like a mini boss. Just get past it and keep moving. It would destroy me.
So when you initially enter this volcano level, there's this giant firebird off in the distance that flies around, and your group sees it. And then all of a sudden it kind of it's flying straight, and then it sees y'all and makes a beeline for you, and you run off. To get away from it, and eventually you get toward the end of this volcano area, and you go around this giant cliff over a big lava pit. The fucking firebird pops out of the lava pit, and so you fight it. That's the battle I just did. And then after that, you go into this forest, and this forest, it's the dragon's nest. It's got a bunch of spider webs and stuff in it. I'm probably gonna stream.
That tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, because I planned on streaming sometime this weekend, and then I didn't because I got too absorbed into Skyward Sword,
which you'll talk about next week.
So, Skyward Sword is one of those games where I know initially when it released, it got a lot of flack. And I can see with some of the dated mechanics in this, but honestly, with this HD version on Switch, it is after you have to get through that beginning portion, because that beginning portion tutorial, whatever you saw, the setup to the story is kind of a slog. It is kind of boring.
It is, but it's different enough. I feel like,
yeah,
because I think about slow starts in Zelda games, right? Twilight Princess is the worst. I hate the opening of that.
And that's the thing is, I remember really liking Twilight Princess. It's been since the game released. God. I have not gone back
in
to
that
it.
village, and you're herding goats, and it's fucking drags. It's so bad. Not all Zelda games can open like Breath of the Wild or Link to the Past.
No.
Link to the Past is a good. Ocarina's is good.
Ocarina's is pretty damn good. Majora's Mask is pretty good.
Wouldn't know so much about that one.
That's a good one. I'm telling you. It's probably up there as one of my favorite Zeldas. Oh my god,
everybody says that. I know Cesar says that. I'm going to have to break it out on 3DS.
Once I got past it, dude, just find a small little guide. Get past the beginning little portion. Play it. It's so good. The in-depth story, do the side quests, get involved in those characters. Dude, it's good. It's so good. Those sides, even the side storylines, it's so good. But Skyward Sword.
Talked about it some last week.
I think last week I was in the Fair on Woods. That's what it was. And I beat, after the podcast the following day, I beat the first temple. I continued.
I'm about to say that's kind of early on.
That first part, you're supposed to, you're getting tablet pieces, and you're, piecing this tablet together, and it's basically the map of the world, and that's letting you go back down to the surface, dive down from Skyloft down to the surface. So from there you go. I can't even remember the name of the place, but it's the lava. You go to that mountain region in the Earth Temple. And I beat that actually pretty quick.
Those dungeons are good in that game. Good.
Oh my gosh. The dungeons are really good.
I'm so glad this game got a re-release with reimagined controls and everything, so that it's accessible again, not only for those who enjoyed it, but for those who missed it the first go around. In the era of the Wii fatigue, as you were talking about. Renee says you should stream some Skyward Sword.
Ooh. Well, I would if I was still really close to that beginning portion. After I beat the Earth Temple, went to the next portion is the Lanayru
desert,
the desert portion. Beat the desert, and you get to see Zelda again. You see her every time.
You're always right behind her.
You're always right behind her. And the last time you see her, you have to defend her, and she gets away. But before she leaves you and goes through this, giant, ancient gate kind of thing, she actually passes you the goddess's harp, and says you're going to need this.
Is that when you fought Girahim? Girahim? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't fight him there. He's there. You swipe at him in a cutscene, and then he leaves after the gate's destroyed. So you go talk to the old woman at the sealed temple, and she tells you that is like you need to go through like the gate of time or something like that. And in order to do that, you have to power up your sword.
You just did that in Wind Waker. Can you not carry over your save to the sword? Can I please? Yeah, I just did this. Can I? The other guy did it. He's kind of me. We already did this. Can we just go ahead and can I carry my progress over? The battle pass.
So in order to do that, you have to seek out 3 sacred flames, and basically forge your sword in those flames. So when I said that it's sunken into me, I've done. So I did the first 3 dungeons. Then I've actually already completed the other 2 for the the flames. I am on the last.
You're on a huge Zelda kick.
Now.
No, you weren't lying. You weren't lying.
And if you thought the first dungeons going through for that first section is good, the dungeons to do all the stuff for the flames, where you're upgrading
it's
your
even
sword
better.
And actually forging the goddess sword into the master sword, it's a whole nother level. It's pretty damn good. There's multiple stages, so what winds up happening, you have to you go to the, I forget what it's called. It's like the Isle of Songs. You learn to play a new song, which in this one is not like Wind Waker. It's not like Ocarina. Yeah, Majora's Mask. It's literally, you don't learn a new song. It says you learn a new song, but literally it's a mini game where a circle like pulses in and out, and you just go back and forth on the harp in time with the oscillating circle, and that's your song. That is the one critique I definitely have, aside from, like I said, the balancing mini games on tightropes.
Very dated game design, very of that era, 2011.
Is the songs, quote unquote songs that you get in this one, with minimal interaction. But you get a song, it gives you a hint on where to go after learning the song. So you backtrack to each of these individual places. There's a trial you need to go through. The first trial is always the same. You basically go to a silent world, a silent version of the world you're in, and you've got to collect these pieces of your soul. And there's guardians and there's Poes through this area, and it's really hard to explain. It's like a flower up in the top. Yeah. There's a flower up in the top hand corner that indicates like your time, and then it's got a stem, and then it's got like all these little balls off of it that indicate the pieces of soul, and you've got to collect. I'm trying to remember how many.
It's bullshitty. It sounds like the wolf's parts of Twilight Princess.
It's honestly, it's not very hard, but it just kind of consumes time.
Padding. So I feel like padding.
You have. So you start off in a circle, and there's usually a soul piece like right off to the side or something. You can see all of them. They like shine up these green beacons.
It's broadcasting where it's at. It's not some sort of secret. Yeah.
So as soon as you step out of the circle, there's guardians everywhere, and they like wake up and they will chase your ass down. But as soon as you grab a soul piece, it fills up the flower. The flower gets all these petals, and then the petals will like slowly wilt. You have like 90 seconds to get to the new one, and as soon as you get a new one, it fills it right back up.
Okay.
And all the guardians and stuff are frozen in place. The one thing is, like, the Poes are patrolling, and if the Poe catches you, it'll alert everything. There's what they call waking water. If you touch the waking water, it alerts everything. But as soon as you find one of those little pieces, if you grab it, it's back to you're fine. I haven't had a challenge. I've done 2 of them, and I haven't had a problem out of any of them. And then after, like, the first one, you do the trial, and then you get forget what they call it, like a gift from the goddess. So the first one, you get the water dragon scale, which allows you to actually dive and swim, which you need that for the next portion. You go and see the water dragon. She's been damaged by a bunch of the monsters, so she sends you on a task to kind of like prove your worth, because of course nobody thinks that you're the goddess's hero in this game. So you have to actually go back to that first temple and go get some water from the fountain at the end of the level, and just bring it back, and that heals her. And after that, you have to go through another like mini dungeon.
Is it fun to? Because I'm doing a lot of backtracking in Metroid Prime, right? Like I'm going through areas I've been in dozens of times at this point, but it's a little bit different every time because I have a new attribute. I've either got the grappling hook or I've got a new visor. Is it fun going back through that first dungeon again with all your new shit you've acquired throughout the course of the game?
Yeah. And it's really not bad. I mean, you go through, there's one locked door. You have to just go find the key real quick. You get through that, and then you can, I mean, there's a couple new enemies walking around. But I mean, you can, after that, you literally run and you can get to the end of the dungeon, scoop the water, go back to the dragon.
How's the dragon
look? And then
look?
you're down in the temple. It's kind of weird looking. She looks kind of odd.
I didn't get this far.
She's got a weird face.
It's just called the water dragon?
Yeah, if you type in Skyward Sword Water Dragon, she'll pop up.
Water Dragon Skyward Sword. I just gotta see what this looks like. Lake Floria?
Yeah. I told you she looks really weird.
Okay, here's the full. All right, it looks better with like the full one. I just looked at the headshot thing. That was weird looking.
I was about to say if it was just a headshot, then that's definitely weird. She's got like a weird human-y face, but it's not.
It's not what I was expecting, Brant. It's not great.
She's very odd.
In a game full of, I would say, beautiful art design and like quality character models, that's a weird looking thing. But it's maybe whimsical enough to work. Yeah. There's the hand.
But you go into that temple, and that temple, just first walking in, almost gave me like old school Ocarina water temple vibes. Just looking at it, because I mean, there's a whole area of water. There's a giant statue in the middle, kind of Buddha-esque. You wind up getting this. You wind up getting a whip in this area, which lets you like grab certain things and pull on them. You can use it almost as a grappling hook, like Indiana Jones whipping over a vine and then using it to swing on and get over gaps and things like that. The implementation of it is very, very,
that's awesome.
Very cool. It was done very well. And then you have to like go underneath, and there's this whole like the music changes and gets all dark and a little distorted, and there's like these undead bokoblins under there,
like zombie ones
to get. Yeah, and you've got to hit them, and the easiest way is to hit them, knock them on the ground, and then do the finishing move and stab them. But that's under there is where you get the boss key. The boss key is not being an actual key in this one. Also, is another one of those weird things. It just being those weird shapes, and you've got to match it, line it up, and then push it in.
Like
that again is one of those
motion controls.
Yeah, it's the Wii era kind of thing that got old.
Yeah,
very quickly. But it's whatever.
To the point where game designers now will put an option in the menu to let you skip any sort of shit, even resembling that. No, I don't want to do the stupid puzzle. Just push the thing and let me through the thing.
And then the next area I went to, because you get that flame, you power up your sword.
This game sounds.
The next
amazing.
area you go back
to it.
You go back to the desert. And this time you go to this what used to be a vast sea, and is now just a sea of sand. But you activate this one little boat, and there's a little robot, because there's like these time shift stones. So this was a huge thing when you went to the desert the first time. There's these stones, and you can hit them, and it radiates out this energy. And you'll see the area of desert disappear, and it goes back to this lush green, vibrant.
I just did that
area.
Part where I was at, yeah.
So this, you activate it on the boat. It activates a little bit wider area, sinks down into the boat. There's a little robot there that activates, tells you he's a sea captain. He lost his ship.
I've got a figure of this guy. I bought a figure years ago of whoever this is. Yeah.
Oh, really? So he talks with you. He finds out that you're looking for the flame. He said, "Oh, that my ship protected that flame. My ship, the flame is on the ship. So if you help me, find the ship, you can find the flame. I gotta find the ship. I gotta find my crew. Make sure everybody's okay." So
shows how much I know. I thought he was a bad guy.
Hey, it might be. I don't know if you have the figure. You might be talking about somebody different.
I could be.
Because there's an area where you get to, you sail to a couple of places. The first place you say to, you have to get like a sea chart.
Oh God! Did you have flashbacks?
Yes. He said C chart. I'm like,
No!
nope, not
Delete,
again.
uninstall, block, mute, donate my Switch.
This.
Did you already have this game, by the way? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had this since it came out. It's just been sitting.
We all do that.
Yeah. Oh, I've got several of them that are doing that right now.
Must be nice. I have hundreds.
So the next area is, he tells you, oh gosh, what is it? It's like the shipyard or something. It's where they built the ships. You go on this horrible fucking area where it's like mine carts, and you've got to lean the mine cart as it rocks back and forth on these
You move the
places.
controller.
Yeah. It's I'm pro controller all the way. I just barely push the stick where it needs to go. But there's gaps in the track in one part, and you've got to, hop over it and stuff. But you go through all that bullshit to find one area covered in sand. You fight a mini boss, and then Fee jumps out and it's like, "Oh, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Just go back to the captain, tell him there's nothing here." So
why did you go do all
and
that?
And then he goes, I know. Yeah. So you go back to the captain. He goes, "Okay, well, it's kind of scary. I'm sure all the pirates are gone by now, but there's a pirate that we have to go to the pirate fortress. That's the last place."
That sounds like Wind Waker 2.
So you go there. That's a cool little area. You wind up, because everything's all decrepit, but you find an orb that's like it's one of those time stones, but you have to like carry it back to its pedestal and power it and because the pirate fortress looks like a giant like shark or something, and its teeth are closed when you walk up, so you have to go and power it up, and then it opens up, and from there you get the ability to douse for the ship. I don't know if I've talked about that last week at all, but that's another big thing with this is you can several quests and things throughout the game, like when you're looking for Zelda, Fee will come out and go, "Oh, I can sense her aura." You can douse for her. So you just
I remember that, yeah.
You would just like you would press the down button to look around. You can press that down button and select something to douse.
Doesn't it do like a finder thing? Yeah.
So it puts a thing on your screen, and wherever you look, it can point an arrow in certain directions, but it's like a little magenta circle, and it'll glow brighter depending on if you're in the right area, looking in the right direction or not. The closer you are, it starts pulsing and it's got like a little audible beep. It's got like a little arrow that'll pop up on it as well. So you go looking for the ship. The captain told you that the ship, because it's got the flame on it, they want to protect it. The ship can the ship can go invisible. That's a mechanic of the ship.
That's what you're using the dowsing rod thing for. So
I'm dousing for it, and there was a couple times I got like really close, and then all of a sudden it like disappeared. I'm like, what where is this thing? And I found out it's like circling this one area. And so I just had to, because there's one time I like physically bumped into it. I'm like, it's here. So you have to like use the cannon on the ship and shoot it, and then you have to chase it and shoot it a couple more times, and then it appears. You can go on the ship. The ship's another kind of dungeon puzzle thing. And then after you do all the stuff that you're supposed to do on there, you get the boss key, open that up, and there's like these giant tentacles that come out, and they're coming from the floors and they're coming from the walls, and you're having to cut them. You're in the ship's starting to sway, and as you're like trying to run and get the hell out of there, like it's filling up with water. It's
let me in, let me out.
Then you get onto the top deck, and it's there's more tentacles, and then you see this giant creature with like tentacles in its face and tentacles for arms. And
I've watched movies like this
come out. And he's got, of course, one big eye, and before you you finally get the last sub weapon in this thing. Of course, it's the bow. So he's got a giant eye. You know what you're gonna have to do with
that's
that.
probably the latest in a Zelda game you get the bow, I would think.
Yeah. I was like, there's no boomerang in this game, and the bow.
The beetle thing kind of does that, right? Like the beetle thing, you can fly around.
Yeah. Yeah. The beetle's pretty cool. But yeah, I just fought that.
Got the bow.
All the dungeons, all the fights. So far, all the music. The music is really good. Yeah. It's in some areas in Skyloft. To me, it feels a little bit more whimsical than a normal Zelda game. To me, it almost sometimes sounds like Kingdom Hearts-esque in certain areas.
Well, look at Skyloft. They're way above everything. Like all the treachery and the villains and everything else is on the surface. Skyloft is just this like wholesome, isolated area. We take care of our own. Everything's safe here. It's fine. And then all that stuff's going on at the surface. It's a good contrast.
Yeah.
The art styles look that way too.
And they're told that like there's nothing down there. There's nothing beneath the clouds. So it's really cool, and I'm really digging this Zelda game. Is
it gonna be up there on your list at the end of it? You liking it more than Wind Waker?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Yes, probably.
Everybody who has played, there's a lot of people that judge Skyward Sword, or they had Wii fatigue, whatever, But the people that played it really, and I loved every minute of it I played. I just fell off of it like so many other things. But it was, and I was playing with the motion controls, and I love the motion controls. So,
like I said, there's things I've mentioned that are, you can tell it's dated. I don't necessarily like the weird, like upgrading your shield, and the shield, like you use it to block one thing, and that wooden shield, initially that wooden shield like whittled down to nothing after me blocking like 4 attacks with it. I'm like, what is the point of this shield?
There's a lot of elements like the breaking weapons and the stamina meter that got moved on to the next title.
Yeah, but I talked about it last week. There's mechanics just to add mechanics, and there's good implementation of mechanics, and I think the implementation of those mechanics in Breath of the Wild is way better, because there's so many weird things, like you use stamina to push blocks even in Skyward Sword, which is so odd. And honestly, there's never a time where that stamina meter has prohibited me from getting anywhere. I've almost run out of stamina a couple of times, but a lot of the time, if you're climbing up vines or something, or running up a steep hill that you got to use a lot of stamina, there's those little fruits, those little stamina things everywhere, to where it's like, okay, I know I'm gonna have to use the stamina bar. They
follow this path,
littered them throughout here, to let me know. So it's like, why put it in there anyway at this point? Just let me run up the hill like normal. But
just another system that seems to be oddly integrated.
And the fact that you can upgrade the weapons or fix the weapons, but you have to have certain things. Like right before we started the podcast, I was mining certain I was looking for specific trinkets to upgrade a certain shield.
Bluebird feathers.
Specifically bird feathers, and then bluebird feathers.
Why bluebird feathers? For a shield.
It's what it needed. That's what it. I don't know why you would need feathers or tumbleweeds or any of this shit to upgrade.
Bluebird feathers.
But the weird mechanic guy that sits there at that counter looks like a madman anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to question his work. Just let him do his thing.
He's a madman. He's got things figured out. You don't question with a madman. You just follow through with their requests.
So yeah, loving that, enjoying that. Probably will finish that this.
Can't believe you ran through
week,
Skyward Sword in like a week and a half. It's insane.
I diminish. I'm at the last flame,
insane.
and then after that, I think I go through the last little bit.
Are you playing like every night? Like, how do you do this?
No,
You take it with you on the go?
I don't know. I played a little bit Monday. I did have my son had an event this Thursday, and I wound up just rather than wasting the gas getting there and coming back from work, I was just like, I'm gonna take the day.
Oh yeah.
So I played it a little bit Thursday, and I also streamed Thursday. But then yesterday, like I said, I wanted to stream. I played several hours yesterday. I played several hours today.
Several.
Definitely
several
more than I intended. Yeah, I more than I intended to, but I played a lot. And I'll probably get up and
plug away tomorrow. I bet when we play Call of Duty at lunch, you'll be done. This guy's gonna knock it out. There'll be a fetch quest at the end.
I might be at the temple to get that final flame. Who knows? And other than that, yesterday we were looking for something to do, and we popped in Smash Brothers. We all hadn't played Smash Brothers in a really long time, so the family sat down. Everybody got a GameCube controller, as God intended. We played Smash Ultimate.
I haven't played that in so long, and I never bought any of the DLC. Like, I'm sure I could get like the season pass thing and just get everybody. Yeah.
Since we were all out of practice, it was pretty even. I think everybody won, everybody lost some, and it was
that's fun. When you have somebody dominate, or you're like, don't use that character, then it gets to be a certain way. But it's fun when people are just laughing and cracking up at all the hijinks. Just toys. Remember, it was just Smash Brothers, just like toys coming out of the toy chest, and then they brought it full circle with the amiibo.
Oh, but yeah, we had a really good time. Because that was the one thing we sat down and we were sitting here. We're like, well, what do you want to do? We could do this. We could do this. I said, I got a room full of games, man. Just pick.
That's the problem.
My son, I was like, pick something. Pick something.
Oh, my oldest child did request the Chariot game very soon. Dad, can we play the Chariot game?
What is it? Circus Maximus. I remember it.
Chariots of War or something like that is the subtitle. Chariots of Fury, maybe that's it.
Yeah. Only on Xbox.
Xbox console exclusive, except Europe, where it's $100 on PS2.
Just out of curiosity, I did look up, because I thought about Twilight Princess. I have it for the Wii, but I thought about it. Maybe I should look for the GameCube. I told you how that game was getting up in price, the HD version for Wii U. It's also over $100 on
both
GameCube. Yep.
Please borrow my copy before you spend $100. If you're really craving a playthrough, please borrow my copy and play it.
I'm debating it because like I said last time, I've got Minish Cap is one of those that I started a few times, but I've never gone all the way through. I have played Twilight Princess. Like I said, it was forever ago, but I did beat it. So I might stay with ones I haven't beaten.
I made some more progress on Minish Cap,
but also I have Metroid Prime.
Yep, now you have Metroid Prime. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. As soon as you fire it up, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god!" I think that's gonna be,
especially after firing up Prime Trilogy for you the other day. I'm sure
you just did that. You just did that contrast.
It looked good. It already looked good, but I've seen more screenshots and stuff.
I thought the same thing. I was like,
the screenshots from Switch look so damn good.
This game was gorgeous. How did they improve it? And I have never stopped and thought like, that shouldn't be there, or that doesn't look right. Nothing. It's an awesome video game. It's withstood the test of time and been supplemented now too.
Yeah. But that's it for me this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Adios.
Adios.
He's not here. It's not the same.
Yeah.